Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Today we're going to be looking at how to clean, maintain and protect the automotive leather in your car. So I was down at Clean and Shiny chatting to John about the channel and what I'm doing and what I was looking to feature, and I was asking for a kind of product recommendation on leather, you know, thinking he'd just recommend one of the many products that he sells, you know, this is a good one, try this one, and I'd try a few and find one that I liked and feature it and recommend it. But I kind of, from speaking to him about leather and automotive leather and how it's made and the approach you should take to cleaning it, it was pretty obvious there's more to it than just getting your product and kind of using it, okay? So he put me in contact with a guy or a company called Colourlock, because I wanted to get someone in that could actually go into detail on all this. Now, Colourlock are a company that have been around, like Ram said, and I'll show you the footage of Ram who's come over today, and it was great to meet him and chat to him, and you know, it was immediately obvious from speaking to him for 5 minutes that this guy is kind of, you know, has a lot of expertise, and the company has a lot of expertise in the leather industry. Colourlock, like he said, they've been around for a long time. They produce products that are used by most of the big car automotive manufacturers, removing defects in the build process of all the automotive leather that goes into these seats and all the other parts of your car. So the main manufacturers are using a lot of the main manufacturers use their products for kind of removing defects and that high level professional refinishing. But beyond that, they supply and create products for general maintenance and cleaning of your automotive leather or faux leather kind of seats in cars or steering wheels or any components. And they're more well known for producing those products and working with a lot of the detailing brands to give them bespoke formulas. So there's a good chance that you've probably already used a Colourlock leather product and not been aware of it. I hadn't heard of the company before, but like John said, they're right at the heart of the industry.
The company started roughly about 20 years ago, and it started with the idea of making leather cleaning, leather conditioning and leather repair products, and over the years the products have developed, evolved, and I think today you know, we can be proud to say that we've got a solution for almost every leather problem that is out there, and not to mention you know, all the other products that go with sort of cleaning, conditioning and repairing virtually all types of leather. Just a very, very brief overview and in very simple terms of how leather is made. So to start with, imagine this is a hide. This is, let's imagine this is the grain side of the hide. That's where all the hair structures are on top. These are all the different hairs on top of the animal's skin. And this is the underside of the leather here, which is where all the fibers go in horizontal section. Now, as you move closer to the skin at the top, the fibers are much closely intertwined. So let's say the closer up you get, they're very, very closely knit, very, very tight, and that is what is that is how leather is made. That this is just a standard structure of what leather looks like. Now, for automotive leather, what most manufacturers do is cut the top section off, you know, and this hide here, what they also do is get rid of all of the different hairs right at the top. Get rid of all the hairs. Yeah. Now this hide or this piece of skin will also have a lot of scars, a lot of imperfections all across, and once they've removed the hair, the hide then goes through something called as a tanning process. Now the tanning process is a process that irreversibly turns these skins or hides into leather. There's various different methods of tanning, mainly vegetable tanning, chrome tanning, and also synthetic tanning, but the one used for automotive leather quite commonly is called chrome tanning, and that would just be called as that, chrome tan. And chrome tanning is one of the most common methods of tanning automotive leather. Now once that is tanned, during the tanning process the hides are also dyed, so they're imagine the entire hide put into a big massive drum with dyes, and it's dyed, which basically means that it's colored all the way through from the back and also the front. Once that is done, they then sand all these imperfections down to get a nice smooth and even layer. They then put on a layer of primer, a layer of color, and then seal the color with top coat. So essentially the top layer here is colored, and when you color the skin, all the pores that are on the skin get completely covered. So before the colouring process, the pores would be open, so when you look at it, let's say under a magnifying glass, you'd be able to clearly tell that the pores are open. But once they've been coloured, they're actually completely covered, and then sealed with something called as a top coat, which essentially protects the colour layer. That is what is used predominantly for automotive leather, also called as pigmented leather, quite commonly within the leather industry. Okay, so now going back to the next set of bits that happen with the leather. This bit here, let's say, is cut off again, and this thing here, which has got essentially fibers on both sides, is essentially called suede, or also split leather. Yeah, so many of you might have seen suede shoes, suede bags, suede jackets. That is what is used to make all of these suede stuff. The bottom part essentially is still all the fibers, but they're so loose that they essentially just fall off. And it's all sort of powdery stuff, which is then put into, it's mixed with chemicals and rolled out into one flat sheet, and then that flat piece of sheet, which has still got the fibers on the underside of the leather, is then put on. It's covered with a polyurethane coating, and those kind of leathers are called as, you know, bonded leather, let's say. You know, there's you know, with all the chemical stuff. The other bits of suede, which are not very good, or cannot be used for suede on its own, are also covered with a polyurethane coating, and those ones are called as PU leather. That's PU leather there. Now, the one other part that we're going to touch onto is vinyl, artificial, or what is also called as fake leather. And now, with fake leather, it's got virtually none of this stuff in there. What it has is literally a piece of fabric, which is covered with a polyurethane coating, which is embossed, and it's made to look like leather. It's got all the grain structure at the top of it, but on the underside, when you look at it, it's only got a bit of fabric glued onto that polyurethane coating, and that is what we call as vinyl or fake leather, which is also used quite a lot in automotive leather. Certain parts of the car seats, door cards, you know, and other bits which do not have direct contact to people sitting in the car are generally processed as vinyl or artificial leather. Okay, so for a standard cleaning procedure, we've got two different types of cleaners, two main water-based cleaners. One is called the mild leather cleaner, which is ideal for regular cleaning, everyday dirt, nothing too heavy, just a light bit of dirt. Mild leather cleaner is ideal. We've also got something called as a strong leather cleaner, which as it says, it's a stronger leather cleaner. It's still a water-based product, so it's not going to damage anything, or it's not going to damage the clear coat on there, but it's a strong leather cleaner mainly designed for cleaning heavier dirt, heavier soiling, and they both work very effectively, but we'd say generally for just normal everyday cleaning, the mild leather cleaners will more than suffice. So when it comes to cleaning, what we recommend, there's two separate ways of cleaning. We've got a Colourlock leather cleaning brush, which is ideal to lift off dirt that is stuck in between the grains, and we usually just recommend taking a bit of the cleaner. Both the cleaners come in foam bottles, as you've noticed, and the reason for providing them in foam bottles is because when you clean leather, it's ideally important to make sure that you don't work too wet. You don't want to make the leather too wet when you're trying to clean it, so the foam cleaners work very well in that, and also that you end up using a substantially less product than you would if you were to just spray on a cleaner directly onto the surface. So in terms of protection, we've got two different types of products, and it's important to understand what each and every product does, each of these two products does. The leather shield is a product that prevents friction damage and prevents dye transfer. So essentially it acts as a barrier on the surface to prevent the color layer coming off, mainly due to friction, due to getting in and out of the car or any other parts or any other areas that encounter the most amount of friction, or any other areas that are used more often. That is the only thing that the leather shield does. It does not, and it's very important to know that it does not condition the leather. It will not keep your leather soft in the long run, but it will prevent against friction damage, and it will prevent against dye transfer, especially in case of light colored leathers like beige or white interiors. The leather shield is ideal. So if you've got a brand new car, or if you've got a car that is less than 2 years, let's say under 20 to 25,000 miles, we say just clean it and apply the leather shield, and that is enough protection for that type of leather. Leather that is older than 2 years or has gone above, or if you've got a car that's gone above 25,000 mileage, you probably need the leather protector as well, because now is the time when the leather is ripe for a bit of conditioning. It needs a certain level of antioxidants, and it needs prevention against UV damage, and that is what the leather protector does. What happens is, over time, after about 2 or 3 years, there are the pores in the leather, which were originally covered by the color layer, now start to open up, and the leather protector and the vapors from the leather protector can actually penetrate in to keep it soft.
Okay, scenario one, new leather that's less than 2 years old or 25,000 miles as a rough guideline. Now, this is where a lot of the detailing faux pas get committed. Now, the first key fundamental thing to understand is that the top coat is non-porous on those surfaces, okay? So any product that's like a conditioner that kind of states that it's going to revive the leather, enrich the leather, feed the leather, all that sort of stuff, it cannot do that because of the simple fact that it doesn't penetrate the top coat. So if those products contain oils and stuff like that, they're not going to penetrate, and those oils are going to sit on top of your clear coat, and actually, generally speaking, we're generalising here because obviously there's loads of different products, but generally speaking, if they contain oils, that's going to help attract dirt and dust and actually increase the wear on your top coat, which is what you want to avoid. So new leather, you do not want to be using any penetrating type products that are designed to feed or revive or condition the leather, because they are not going to be able to do that. Okay, so the number one thing that's going to destroy the top coat on your car is friction, okay? So you getting in and out of the car and you rubbing against the car to wear that top coat down. If you have dirt sitting on that top coat, the dirt is going to act as an abrasive. Your bum's going to be the buffing pad, okay? And the more dirt, the more abrasive, the more quicker you are going to rub through that. So the simple thing is keeping your leather clean is really important to reducing the amount of wear on the top coat when the leather's in a new condition. So we talked about keeping it clean to reduce the friction and the abrasive dirt. We've talked about not wearing anything that's going to actually damage and tear and scuff up that leather. The third thing is Colourlock have a product, okay, called Leather Shield. And all this product does, okay, is not designed to alter the finish of the leather. It's not designed to add gloss. It's not designed to clean, so you use their cleaners separately. We'll talk about that in a second. All it is designed to do is create a surface on the top coat which reduces friction. So when you've applied this, you'll feel your kind of self slide around the seat a little bit more, rather than sort of that sort of horrible heavy rub, where you know all that energy is being absorbed in the top coat. So it's to reduce friction. Simple product. The next scenario, okay, leather that is older, okay, so it's beyond 25,000 miles or 2 years, and it's that point where the top coat is going to start failing, or if you've got higher mileage it might fail completely like we have on this car. First question is, how do you know? How do you know if your top coat has failed? And Ram said to me the easiest way is just to do a colour transfer test. So when your top coat is gone, if you rub your leather with one of their cloths or one of your microfiber, and you could use a damp microfiber as well. You've got the wet wipe test and the dry wipe test. Either one will work, but perhaps try it with a damp microfiber maybe. Look for colour transfer onto your microfiber cloth. If you're getting colour transfer, make sure you clean it first, or else you're going to see the dirt coming off, okay? You know, so you're going to get that black kind of greasy grime. If you've got black leather, you might think you've got colour transfer. Clean it first, then do the rub test and see if you're getting colour transfer. If you are, then that area you're rubbing has no top coat, okay? Generally, if you're higher up on the mileage and you're way up, you know, 50 to 100,000, you can assume that your top coat is pretty much gone, and you now have a porous surface that is going to need cleaning and then re-protecting. And this is what about step 2 is. So it's very simple. Step 1, new leather, is clean and apply the leather shield, the anti-friction agent. Step 2 for older leather where the top coat's failed and you've got a porous surface is clean, and again you use the same cleaning technique, either the mild or the strong leather cleaner, and perhaps if it's older leather the likelihood of you needing to use a stronger product are increased. It's going to be dirtier from, you know, being used more. Once you've cleaned the leather using the same method, this time you apply leather protector, okay? Now leather protector is a penetrating product, unlike the leather shield. So that penetrates into the leather. It does contain oils, it contains antioxidants, it contains UV filters. It is designed to apply protection to unprotected leather. Again, you pour this kind of product onto a little bit of a microfiber cloth or a microfiber applicator or their Colourlock cloths, and you wipe it over the surface of your leather, making sure you get good coverage. Don't over apply it, don't go squirting it all on, you know, apply it sensibly, all the sort of things that go without saying, but maybe I should say them. And leave it to penetrate, leave it to dry. I've nearly said leave it to cure, but I don't think you're leaving it to cure. You're leaving it to penetrate, and you're leaving it to dry, okay? And I think Ram advised about 4 hours, or maybe 2 to 4 hours was a good time to leave that product to penetrate. Ideally, you'd apply it and then leave it overnight. And once that product has penetrated in there and is providing the protection, then you can top it with a leather shield to provide the anti-friction, okay? And that anti-friction is just a general thing now to stop the wear and tear on your surface of your leather, okay? The third scenario is like my BMW M3 135 that's 3 years old but it's done less than 20,000. And what I've got on my car from testing it is most of the leather is protected and the top coat's there, and I'm not getting any colour transfer. But just on one particular area, I noticed the bolster is just getting a little bit worn, and if I rub that I can get a bit of the oyster paint on the surface, so I know that the top coat has failed in one particular area. So again, I can follow the steps to clean it with the mild or the strong leather cleaner, and then I can apply the leather protector to the area where the top coat has failed and let that kind of penetrate, you know, for 4 hours or overnight. And then I can apply the shield over the top of the whole entire car to provide that anti-friction coating for the parts of the leather where the top coat I want to maintain what's left, and I want to also provide the anti-friction for the area that's exposed but now has the protector and the shield on top of it to help maintain that finish. So it's quite simple with those 3 scenarios. The third scenario is a bit of a kind of in the middle kind of scenario, but the other 2 are very simple to understand. Functional new leather with working non-porous top coat, and old leather where the top coat has failed and the surface is now porous. So that is the basic cleaning of automotive seats, and by following these steps you will be doing it properly. The trap to fall into, and I've definitely fallen into this trap, is using the wrong type of product for the type of leather and the condition of the top coat of the leather that you've got. And the number 1 trap being using the products that are designed to penetrate on leather that's got a top coat which is not going to allow them to penetrate. So that's the number 1 faux pas you want to avoid. The other faux pas, or the thing, it's not faux pas, but it's a question I put to Ram, because I think a lot of people out there use general purpose APCs to clean your leather surface, and I'd kind of heard on the grapevine, no, they're not suitable, they're gonna kind of destroy your leather. And I wanted to get a view on that from Ram, and I was expecting him to just say, yeah, don't use those, they'll destroy your leather, you know, they're bad, use our product. And kind of, I like the way Ram described it, saying that it's a product by product thing. There might be some APCs out there that are actually formulated to kind of match the pH level of this and not be too aggressive. But generally, in his experience, and I know there's some APCs out there that are not formulated for interior cleaning, for upholstery and vinyl and leather. They're more APCs, you know, the detailing definition book of APCs does not say it's an interior cleaner or an exterior. Some of them are formulated to be degreasers for external use, okay? Some of the APCs are formulated to be interior cleaners, but even so, they might not be the correct kind of potency or pH level. They might be too caustic and too damaging for the top coat of your car. So as a general rule, using APCs to clean automotive leather isn't a good idea, okay? And the other thing is, most of them are looser liquids that will penetrate. So on the cars with functional top coat on your leather, they might deteriorate that top coat quicker, and the name of the game is not deteriorating it, okay? That's really important to maintaining the factory finish. But with the older leather where the top coat's gone, the APC is going to penetrate as a loose liquid, and you do not really want those products staying in the leather, and that's another reason why they do a foaming cleaner that's not designed to penetrate. Okay guys, thank you very much for tuning in. So this has been a dialogue heavy video on leather cleaning, but there's some really good information on there. Very simple information, and I knew little bits and pieces of some of this information. I knew about all the top coat stuff, but I didn't know about how to determine whether you've still got top coat or not, so that's all new to me. You know, I didn't know about this kind of needing to use foaming cleaners and, you know, matching the pH of the top coat so you don't deteriorate it. That's something I've learned, so I'm really interested in that. Really cool that the Shield is just a simple anti-friction product rather than something that's, you know, it's kind of a bit advert friendly where it says it's going to restore the gloss and do this. It's not. Ram just said it's a simple product, and it's all about maintaining what you've got. You know, it's not about throwing a big layer of shiny silicone on top of it or anything like that. It's just all about creating a non-slip surface to preserve the finish. So that's really cool. So yeah, I am impressed. I like the Colourlock products. I'm really pleased to have got Ram's expertise on board, and I'm looking forward to doing some more videos with him in the future. As always, guys, let us know what you're using. There's other stuff out there that I'm sure is effective and good, and that's part of the dialogue with any video that we do, is me kind of absorbing what everyone else is doing. This is just a basic thing on cleaning and protecting your automotive leather or faux leathers in your car. And like I say, more advanced videos will follow over the coming months on some leather stuff. So thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon on the Forensics Detailing channel. Bye for now.